Everything has been leading to this: betrayals, power moves, and silent enemies hiding in plain sight. Episode 9 isn't just the finale of Season 4, it could change the entire story of BMF forever. If you think you know how it ends, think again, because some of the biggest shocks haven't even happened yet. Season 4 of BMF has been nothing but pressure. From the very first episode, we knew things were going to get serious. Meech is now deep into building his empire, but it's come with a heavy cost. The streets are getting colder, trust is wearing thin, and the walls are closing in from all directions: cops, rivals, even people within the family. Let's start with Meech. In episode 1, we saw him setting his sights on Atlanta, trying to expand the business and take things to the next level. He's thinking bigger than Detroit now. He's no longer just playing the game, he's trying to run it. But while his mind is focused on the bigger picture, the problems back home aren't going anywhere. Every time he looks away, something back in Detroit falls apart. That tension between growing the empire and holding the family together has been pulling Meech into different directions all season. Terry, on the other hand, has been walking a thin line. While Meech dreams about expansion, Terry just wants to protect the family and keep things under control. But that's easier said than done. We've watched him struggle with loyalty, especially when it comes to Markeisha, his girl who's been pushing him to think about life outside the game. But in this world, walking away isn't simple. Every time Terry tries to be the clean one, the streets pull him right back in. And then there's Lamar, the wild card. If you thought he was gone for good, Season 4 proved otherwise. He's still lurking, always unpredictable. Even when he's not on screen, his presence is felt. He's not just a threat, he's chaos. And we know BMF never lets characters like Lamar disappear quietly. Something tells me he's not done yet. Detective Bryant has also been tightening the news this season. His obsession with bringing Meech down is personal now. Every move he makes has consequences, and the tension between him and the Flannery brothers keeps building. But Bryant isn't alone anymore. He's got people watching him too. His decisions in the past, especially covering up murders and messing with evidence, are finally catching up to him. And the deeper he goes, the more desperate he gets. That kind of pressure can make people dangerous. The Flannery family itself is also cracking under pressure. Charles and Lucille are barely holding it together. Their marriage is broken, the church is no longer a safe space, and their sons are diving deeper into a world they can't control. Lucille still hopes for a miracle, but Charles seems too far gone, lost in guilt, secrets, and the mistakes he refuses to admit. Their scenes are emotional because they show what happens when the streets don't just affect dealers and cops, they destroy entire families. Let's not forget the side players who've started making big moves. Boom, K9, and even the out-of-town players who see an opportunity to fill power gaps. These people may not have gotten a lot of screen time, but they've been set up for something bigger. And in the finale, I wouldn't be surprised if one of them makes a move that flips the game completely. Overall, Season 4 has been about transition. It's about leaving behind what's familiar and stepping into something bigger, but also more dangerous. Meech and Terry aren't just street hustlers anymore, they're bosses. But that title comes with enemies they haven't even met yet. And now, with just one episode left, every choice matters. Every alliance could break, every secret could come out. The finale is going to be the moment where everything either comes together or falls apart. As we head into episode 9, the pressure has hit a breaking point. Nothing feels safe, nobody feels untouchable. And that's exactly what makes this finale so dangerous. Every setup we've seen so far is about to pay off, and the question isn't if something major is going to happen ... It's who's going to survive it. Right now, Meech is stuck in a difficult position. He's got Atlanta on the hook, but his foundation in Detroit is cracking. In the last few episodes, we've seen him take more risks, trust more outsiders, and stretch himself too thin. That's not just a leadership problem, that's a survival problem. You can't build an empire if your house is falling apart. And in episode 9, he might finally have to choose, chase expansion or come home and clean up the mess. One of the biggest buildups this season has been the growing tension between Meech and his closest allies. When you're at the top, you start losing track of who's really loyal. The cracks between him and Terry are starting to show again. They don't always see eye to eye, especially when it comes to strategy. Meech wants bold moves. Terry wants safe plays. That difference might be the wedge that splits them, or worse, puts one of them in danger. Don't be surprised if someone close turns cold in the finale. Another major setup that can't be ignored is Detective Bryant. He's not just on Meech's case, he's on the edge of breaking down. All season, we've watched him bend rules, push his partner, and make reckless decisions. Now he's under pressure from his own department, especially with evidence getting messy and his personal life in chaos. And when a cop like Brian feels like he's losing control, that's when he becomes unpredictable. In episode 9, he might either make his move or go completely off the rails. We also have to talk about Lamar. He's the type of character that BMF never fully buries. Even when it seems like he's out of the picture, something brings him back. This season, he's been more silent, more lurking, but that's what makes him even scarier. There's this constant feeling that he's going to pop up at the worst moment, and if there's ever a time for that to happen, it's the finale. He's got a score to settle, and we all know Lamar doesn't go out quietly. But it's not just the main characters we need to worry about. There are multiple side plots bubbling just under the surface. Boom has been acting way too calm lately, and in this show, silence usually means someone's plotting. Then you have the new players in Atlanta. Some of them are smiling to Meech's face while probably setting him up behind his back. And let's not ignore K9. He's been waiting for the right moment to strike. With all the moving pieces in place, episode 9 could turn into a full-on betrayal fest. The women in the show have also been playing key roles that might come to a head. Markeisha, who's been riding with Terry, might finally force him to make a choice, the game or a life away from it. Lucille, fed up with Charles and desperate to save her family, could make a drastic decision that shocks everyone. These aren't just background characters anymore. Their choices could shape the final outcome. What's smart about how BMF has built season 4 is that they've layered the tension slowly. It's not all explosions and gunfights. It's quiet. Moments, looks, silence, small conversations that are setting the stage. And now, going into episode 9, it feels like everything's about to boil over. One moment that stood out in the last episode was that lingering silence between Meech and Terry after their last meeting. It wasn't just brotherly tension. It felt like something was about to snap. That's what makes this finale so important. We're not just watching a criminal empire grow. We're watching a family fall apart while trying to hold everything together. And finally, there's this feeling that someone's going to get caught or killed. Whether it's a raid, a setup, or someone flipping under pressure, episode 9 has been teased as a turning point. That means someone's story is about to end. Maybe more than one. The buildup has been slow, heavy, and emotional. BMF hasn't rushed it. They've taken their time showing us every layer, every mistake, every bad decision, every silent enemy. And now, everything's in place for a finale that could leave us speechless. Now that the stage is set, let's get into the part everyone's been waiting for, the final predictions. Based on how season 4 has played out, the writing is on the wall for some major shakeups. This isn't just about gunshots and drug deals anymore. It's about power, trust, and survival. So here are the top 5 predictions for episode 9. And trust me, They're going to stir up real drama. Asterisk, we've seen it coming all season. The tension between Terry and Meech isn't just about different leadership styles, it's about two brothers growing apart. Meech has his eyes on expansion. Terry wants to keep things tight and clean. That difference in vision has been creating cracks, and now those cracks look ready to break wide open. Asterisk, in episode 9, we could see a full-on split, not just a disagreement, but a clear decision to go separate ways in the business. Maybe not forever, but long enough to shake the foundation of BMF. And this time, it won't be because of outside pressure. It'll be because of personal choices, betrayal, or a decision that pushes one brother too far. Whether it's about Marquisha, money, or strategy, this split could set up a major shift going into season 5. Asterisk, Brian has been walking a fine line all season. He's made illegal moves, bent the law, and covered up crimes, but now he's starting to lose control. His partner is watching him. His boss is questioning him. And we've seen signs that internal affairs might be on the case. Prediction: Brian's going to get hit hard. Either he gets suspended, arrested, or publicly exposed. But here's the twist: he might not go down alone. If he's going to fall, he could try to take Meech with him. Maybe he leaks evidence. Maybe he cuts a dirty deal. Maybe he uses his son's situation as leverage. Either way, episode 9 could mark the end of Brian's career and the beginning of something worse. A dirty cop with nothing left to lose is a dangerous thing. Asterisk, you can't count Lamar out, ever. He's like a ghost, quiet, unpredictable, and always dangerous. And lately, his silence has been louder than any gunshot. We haven't seen a full storyline from him in the last few episodes, which tells me they're saving him for something big. Asterisk, in episode 9, Lamar could return for one final, violent move. Whether it's revenge against Meech, a betrayal involving someone we trust, or a shootout that leaves a main character dead, Lamar is the wild card. He doesn't think like the others. He moves off emotion, off pain. And when someone like that shows up in a finale, you know something brutal is about to happen. Asterisk, this is BMF, and finales aren't just about cliffhangers, they're about loss. Every season has taken someone we didn't expect, and this time, it feels like a main character isn't making it out alive. Asterisk, here are a few possible names. Boom, who might be playing too smart for his own good. K-9, whose return could create a deadly triangle of power. Or maybe even someone closer like Marquisha, who could get caught in the crossfire of a turf war. But the boldest possibility: Terry, if the writers really want to shock the audience. Ending the season with a betrayal or accidental death of one of the Flannery brothers would flip the whole game. That would be a risk, but also a power move to set the tone for season 5. Asterisk, Meech has always tried to balance business with brotherhood, but that balance is breaking. If episode 9 forces his back against the wall, I think we'll see a new side of him, a colder, sharper, more cutthroat. Asterisk, this prediction is all about power. If Meech feels betrayed by Terry, by Atlanta partners, or even someone close in Detroit, he's going to act. That could mean taking out a threat before it grows. That could mean locking someone up in a setup. Or it could mean cutting ties with someone he loves just to protect the bigger plan. Whatever it looks like, this final episode could show Meech crossing a line he's never crossed before. And once he does, there's no going back. Asterisk, this one might sound crazy at first, but hear me out. Asterisk, Lucille has reached her breaking point. We've seen it in every scene, the pain, the prayers, the frustration. She's begged her sons to leave the streets. She's begged Charles to be a better man, and she's begged God for answers. But what happens when all that praying leads to silence? What happens when a mother finally realizes that love alone can't save her children? Asterisk, here's the theory. In episode 9, Lucille makes a deal, either with law enforcement or someone in the streets, in a desperate attempt to protect what's left of her family. Maybe she doesn't mean to betray Meech or Terry. Maybe she doesn't even know the full consequences, but out of desperation, she says something, signs something, or gives someone access to something that puts her sons in real danger. Asterisk, this move would hurt. It would shock everyone, but it would also make perfect sense emotionally. BMF has always shown how crime destroys not just the streets, but the home. And if this theory comes true, it would flip the entire story, because the betrayal wouldn't come from an enemy. It would come from their mother. Asterisk, asterisk, all right. Now it's your turn. We've laid out the build-up, the predictions, the wild theories, but the BMF universe is full of surprises, and we want to hear your take. Asterisk, let me know in the comments. Asterisk, do you think Terry and Meech will go their separate ways in the finale? Asterisk, is Lamar coming back for one final act of madness? Asterisk, who's the most likely to die in episode 9? Asterisk, and could Lucille really be the one to pull the trigger, not with a gun, but with a choice? Asterisk, drop your theories below. Whether they're wild, emotional, or just straight up bold, we'll be reading everyone. Asterisk, and don't forget, if this video hits insert goal, like 5K likes, we'll do a full breakdown the moment the finale drops, scene by scene, moment by moment, asterisk, asterisk, so that's where we stand. Episode 9 is more than a finale, it's a turning point. Alliances will break, lines will be crossed, and by the end of it, the world Meech and Terry built may never look the same again. Asterisk, if you've been riding with this series from the start, you already know BMF doesn't hold back. The finale is coming, and it's not just about who wins. It's about who's left standing. Asterisk, hit that like button if you're ready. Subscribe so you don't miss our finale breakdown. And stay locked in, because the streets are about to erupt. Asterisk, this has been your inside look at BMF Season 4 Episode 9 predictions. Stay safe, stay sharp, and keep watching the game. Asterisk, there's a moment in every story when everything slows down, just before the chaos hits. That's where we are right now. Episode 9 isn't just the final chapter of Season 4. It's the calm before the storm. Asterisk, Meech and Terry are standing at a crossroads. The family is broken. The streets are watching. The law is closing in, and trust. That's the first thing on the chopping block. Asterisk, what we've seen this season is more than just drug deals and drama. It's about power, control, sacrifice, and survival. And now, it's time to pay the price. Somebody is going down, somebody's not coming back, and somebody's about to change forever. Asterisk, no matter how long you followed this series, you know one thing for sure. BMF doesn't end quietly. So whatever happens in episode 9, it's going to leave us talking, arguing, and replaying scenes all the way until season 5 drops. Asterisk, so now we wait. Asterisk, but when it drops, we'll be here. Asterisk, day 1, breaking it down, frame by frame. No fake hype, just real story, real breakdowns, and real heat. Asterisk,